So I thought we would talk about something that is near and dear to your heart, which of course is stealing from your employer, because you seem to do that. Basically,
robbing your employer blind.
Basically, I feel like you do that to me every quarter.
It's the only reason I get out of bed in the mornings.
It's to figure out ways in which you could take money from me. And you do a pretty good job of it, to be honest with you.
I do.
I saw your last quarterly bonus. It wasn't bad.
I don't even know what it is yet.
You had a good quarter.
You're talking about third quarter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what the final number is myself. So
yeah,
we can talk about that later. We don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to announce what you're paid on a quarterly basis, but just so you know that you had a good quarter.
I know I did.
you did well producing, that's for sure. But so I was listening to a podcast of Mark Cuban, who I know is probably a favorite of yours, that's for sure. There's probably nothing about Mark Cuban that he says that you just don't love or adore, and
I never really listened to the guy much. I mean, I see little snippets of him on TikTok, but that's about it. I've never actually sat down and listened to him.
He's a pretty interesting guy. He's pretty charismatic. He's, obviously he's owned a lot of businesses, sold a business at the height of the tech bubble for like $2 billion, bought the Dallas Mavericks. He's all over social media. He's on Shark Tank.
Yep.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I do see him on there.
But what prompted the conversation was he was telling a story about how one of his employees stole $82,000 from them. This was like when they were early on.
Okay.
And basically they had $84,000 in the bank, and the employee stole $82,000 of that.
Well, at least he left them some working capital.
A little bit.
That was kind.
But I think, for healthcare owners, this is not unusual.
Unfortunately, no.
And I think we've probably had, I can't even count. I would probably say, and I'd have to look at the statistics on this, like the percentage of people that have been stolen from by their employees.
Yeah, I get about 2 or 3 every single year without fail. It's not.
I would say it's about 20 to 25%.
Oh, I mean, for people who will experience it at some point, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's that's not a small problem. When you have 20 to 25% of people getting ripped off from other people or by employees, that's a problem. And I've seen it be, as bad as this one vet in Arizona had $1 million stolen from her over a 10-year period.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Usually it's a much smaller amount.
It's usually a much smaller amount, but that's kind of the extreme right there. But I mean, I've seen 50,000, 30,000, 20,000, 10,000, these are, I mean, when you're talking about businesses that don't do hundreds of millions of dollars a year in revenue and do, $1 to $5 million in revenue, getting ripped off for 50 grand is a lot of money.
It's impactful.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I think I want to talk about just, number one, how you can help prevent that. It's not 100% unpreventable. It's just not. Someone is creative enough and smart enough and has access enough. Anybody can probably steal from anyone, regardless of how good their protocols are. But you can put some protocols in that are going to help prevent someone from ripping you off.
Yeah. And even if they don't prevent you from getting ripped off, if you have right protocols, those protocols should catch it before it becomes a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then maybe just looking at some of the areas in which healthcare owners do get ripped off. So you know where to put your attention on, yep. Okay, I need to make sure I'm looking at this because this is a weak spot of where someone could try and rip me off.
Yeah.
So why don't we start with that? I think like most of the time that I've seen, there's one instance where I had someone get ripped off because number one, I think a lot of people get ripped off because they give access to the finance lines in some method to somebody, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You have to have access to money to steal the money.
Yeah, you have to have access to money or the ability to have access to vendor relationships or something like that, where you could kind of fudge the numbers. But that at the end of the day, you're going to have access to the money lines in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think 9 out of 10 times it's not, probably more than 9 out of 10, 99 out of 100 times it's not going to be some complicated forged documents type of situation. It's just going to be cash. People take cash.
Yeah.
And
or product.
Product's a good point too.
Yeah.
We've definitely seen inventory get stolen. I didn't even think of that, but that is a very good point.
Yep.
Very, very good point. Or, the other thing, and this doesn't feel like theft, but it is. And this is a big problem with vets more so than anyone else, is giving too much free work away.
Yeah.
We've seen clients who have associates, and those associates treat animals for free. And, trying to think of exactly what it was. I don't remember the specifics, but it was a client whose associate was doing that. And not only were they giving away the work for free, the exam, there's no quantifiable value there, but they were giving away the medicines, the bandages, the hard costs for free.
Yeah.
With
no authority to do that.
No, exactly. And it comes, the unfortunate part is that most of the time has come from a good place, right? It's a doctor who wants to help somebody who can't afford to pay, but it's still theft.
Yeah.
It's just,
you're not Robin Hood.
No.
And that's not, there's different ways in which you can help people for sure. And so, yeah, we can talk about that because, I'm sure those instances do come up where an associate wants to help a client. Okay.
Yeah. The most successful, this came from a client who had that, had the same problem. The most successful action I've seen for giving away free services, and this is predominantly for vets, but I guess you could apply this to other people as well, is each doctor gets a charity account, right? Let's say it's $5,000,
mm-hmm.
right? You can use it all on day one on one dog. You can spread it out $100 each for 50 dogs. You can do whatever you want, but you get $5,000 or whatever the number is for the year. And once it's gone, it's gone.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So, and you can even, I don't think it's even wrong to appeal to your client base of patients. Because, look, most of the healthcare owners that we deal with have thousands of patients. Yeah. And most of them are middle class, maybe some upper class, but you're going to have a handful that are super rich, have a lot of money.
Yep.
Okay. And one thing you could potentially say to them is, look, I don't know if you ever thought about this, but a way for you to maybe give back would be to start some kind of a charitable fund that, that we can be like the custodian or the trustee of, and it will be only for the servicing of patients. Mostly it's done for animals, No,
I just had to take my dog to the emergency vet a couple of weeks ago, and they had the same thing. When I checked out, one of the things was, do you want to contribute to the emergency fund for less fortunate pet owners?
Yeah. So I think that's a great way to be able to give away services for something.
Yep.
Obviously you get a tax benefit for that by doing that. So it's something to think about. But all we're trying to do is figure out ways in which people like don't give away services or steal from you.
Yeah, and I think another component to the similar thing is giving free work away.
Yep.
Is owners need to make sure that no one can change prices in their software besides them.
Yeah.
Because that's been a problem before too, where doctors change the price of something and, get caught. So no one should be able to log in and change prices except for you with your password that you do not share with your employees.
Yeah, so this is good. Let's get into the protocols then, I think, because I think this is where people are going to get some benefit out of this. How do you keep people from stealing from you? First and foremost, you have to know who's in front of you. And this is probably the hardest thing because, you can hire someone that's trustworthy. They can still steal from you, but, there are indicators, of someone that is more likely to steal from you than not. If they have a bad history, if they're always talking about how bad their financial situation is, if they talk about how much in credit card debt that they are, anyone that's stressed about money, anybody that is overwhelmed on their personal finances, 100% is a person that has a increased probability that they're going to steal from you. Not saying that they're always going to do that. It's just the probability is much higher.
In most of the cases that I've seen with clients, the people who are stealing, it's almost never the new employee.
Yeah.
It's always someone who's been around for a number of years, knows how the practice runs, hits some point in their life, whether it's financial stress or medical problems or whatever they need money for, and they give in and dip their hand in the pot.
Yeah. So
it's always someone that's there long term.
Yeah. So if you're going to give over some semblance of control over to the people that are in charge of your finances or ordering supplies or something like that, just keep an eye on their personal condition. Keep an eye on how they're doing in life. Keep an eye, talk with them, communicate with them, find out if they got areas of stress. Again, I'm not saying because they're likely to steal from you, because it just increases the likelihood that they're going to need a solution for a financial problem, right? They may not be evil intentioned people, but when you get to that desperate stage, you're going to do whatever you think you need to do at that point in time.
Yep.
That's the unfortunate part. So know who you have in front of you. I think another thing too that a lot of people don't have are like a purchase order system. So purchase order system is basically if there's going to be, let's say, a purchase of something from the practice, it has to go through certain protocols, like it is submitted to certain people. Like we want to buy blank amount of stuff. Okay, good. So then that makes it, okay, somebody's got to approve that. Someone's got to look at it. Someone's got to look at the budget. And again, I'm not saying it's going to prevent theft, but it certainly would make it more difficult for someone just to willy-nilly, go order something or get a hold of something because there's no protocol for spending money and how the money spends money in the practice.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
Certainly not giving people access to the checking and savings accounts is probably another protocol as well. I don't know that I've seen that a lot, but
no, not letting people. I don't know. One of the consistent problems, unfortunately, has been letting employees take the bag of cash to the bank.
Yeah.
It's a menial task. I don't want to say a menial task, but it's just it takes up time. So they delegate it out and they count the cash at the office and it's $2,000. And then the employee gets back from the bank and it's, $1,940.
Yeah.
And it's like, they start second guessing themselves. Did I count wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But that whole thing could have been avoided if you had taken the cash to the bank.
Yeah. And again, I don't want to put it all on the owner to have to do some of these things.
I know. Neither do I.
But again, you're going to have to make sure that you pay attention and you do understand how to at least even read your bank statements, and understand these things.
Yep.
And if you just play oblivious and act like you don't know, man, you are a target for someone. Because if someone's there long enough, they're going to start observing things that they could take advantage of.
Yeah, people notice weak points.
And they're going to just, what? Nobody ever says anything when we order this right here. I remember one instance in which, some of these companies, vendors offer like you buy certain product, you get certain rebates.
Okay.
Right. And that's how they were stealing. They somehow, some way, able to direct the rebates to them personally. Like when the money actually came in, they were able to get the rebates for them personally. That was
That's pretty creative.
Yeah, exactly. I told you some of these people get super creative.
Do we get any rebates?
I'm sure you'll probably find some if you possibly can, but that's a negative. So I think you do have to have some semblance of control over like how the money comes in, how the money goes out. And you need to make it very easy for money to come in. Now, most owners get paid what? They either get paid electronically, credit cards. Okay. Very few get paid cash, but I mean, there is some cash.
There is some, especially for vets, there is cash.
For co-payments and those kinds of things. Yep. There's insurance reimbursements, which I've seen people, for somehow, some way been able to, steal money that way. But you got to know where the money's coming from of people that are paying you, and look and see where someone could actually rip you off in some way, shape, or form. Cash is the easiest way because it's simple. They can take that.
Yeah.
But you got to be able to read.
It's not the only way.
Yeah. Be able to, I'm sure there's ways people can finagle credit cards, maybe double bill someone. And then, I don't know, I'm sure that there's different ways people have figured out to do this.
Yeah.
But know how the money's coming in. But I go back to a per source system. You got to make sure it's very difficult for money to go out. And people have to know, like, I just can't order anything I want to.
Yeah, you should have the final authorization on money going out as the owner.
Yeah. So, and then I liked your point about the other thing was the changing of pricing, because I think that's another area where people definitely could somehow steal from you, because they could go in and change the price of something down and then automatically have it go back up and still charge the person the same amount, or charge them a higher price and keep the difference.
Yeah, I mean that. I guess they could. Historically, that's been used to give away work for free, but
yeah,
I guess you could, you could do that.
Yeah. So that's definitely an area where you make sure you have protocols on who can, most of you guys have some kind of a pricing system or some kind of software that has access, but make sure that you give limited to no access on to be able to change prices.
Yep. Yeah, that's an owner,
that's an
owner duty.
Yeah.
It's not something anyone else should do.
That is an owner function. But there's no doubt. The most of the times that we've heard people getting stolen from, it's very, very rarely from new people.
Yeah.
It is from people that have been with you for 5, 10, 15, even longer, and those are the people generally that we've seen that have gotten stolen from. And in almost every case, it's because an owner gave someone financial responsibility or controls or something to that nature. And, they got ripped off because of that. And then I'd say also, too, on the product side, don't over order too much stuff. I mean, that's good sense anyway, as far as like cost of goods sold. To keep, but if you stock your things with too much stuff that you're not selling, it just makes it easier for someone to take something off the shelf.
Oh yeah, they'll grab a heartworm or a flea and tick, or take it home for their own animal or whatever the case is. But yeah, too much inventory is tempting. If there's 50 heartworms there, is someone going to notice one missing? Probably not. If there's 3 because you're ordering on time, it's more noticeable.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if there's any insurance that people can buy for employee theft. I'm pretty sure that there is, isn't there?
There probably is, but I think for our client base, like by the time you pay premiums and deductibles, it's really probably not going to be worth it.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I don't know. I'd have to look into that more.
Yeah, to see if there's like some kind of insurance, for extreme cases of employee theft. I got to think that there's something.
Oh, absolutely.
That would cover that, for a lot of people. But yeah, it's. I don't think it's right. Like I said, I don't think you can prevent it 100%. I don't think it's something that you can have the most strictest protocols, and someone can still figure out a way. To hack. Your system, and theft doesn't necessarily have to come just from the employees as well. It can come from outside people that even the phishing emails, cyber attacks. Where someone can email in to your people and say, hey, so and so said that you can wire me back my money right now. I need it right now. There's all kinds of phishing emails that we've seen where they try to dupe a dumb employee into sending money or something like that. So beware of that as well. That's probably going to be a bigger problem going forward than anything else.
Yeah. The whole
cybersecurity. Okay. Anything else?
Not really, man. I'm trying to think.
I mean, the rate of the likelihood that you're going to get someone try to steal from you is pretty high.
Oh yeah, at some point in your ownership career, you're probably going to get stolen from, unfortunately.
Yeah. So it's always an opportunity just to make sure that you look at how much oversight you have over your money lines. Who has control of it? Who has authorization? Who has the right to order things? Who has the ability to write checks or approve purchases? These are all things that you need to do to minimize that. And then make sure that you are looking at your financial statements. Make sure, and if you guys see like dips in, you'll notice it slowly. Why do I seem like we don't have enough in our checking? And like, why does it seem like it's, going down where it normally should be at this level? It seems like it's a little bit lower, do inspections.
Yeah. Don't ignore warning signs.
Yeah, definitely don't ignore warning signs of why your money isn't exactly where it needs to be. So it's going to be kind of a collective thing. You're going to need to look at a lot of different things. But I think as people get more desperate, they're going to try to, you will likely get stolen from. So just make sure you keep an eye out on it.
Yep.
All righty.
All right. That was I don't want to say a depressing topic, but that's kind of a depressing topic.
A little bit. I guess it's just one that is
but it's applicable, you know.
It's definitely applicable.
It is. So you gotta talk about it. So
okay, guys, we'll see you on the next one.